right now, but it's normally hot in here. Y'all be seeing my mustache sweating?
Because it's you.
Come on.
Listen, let's ready. We
I
ready?
thought it was wine glistening.
That's the secret.
Look at her. Go.
Take you to
You know what? Welcome
You
back to
don't
Talk with
have
Wine.
much to bring.
You got
You got a lot of shit in your apartment. You definitely got mad things to bring. The king gonna be like, never mind. Let me just restore your lease. Let me just give it back. Give it back.
Give you another chance. I am Marley.
I am Kamaya.
And I am Tamara, and this is Talks with Wine.
Do this on camera. See how personal close. Listen, I apologize. Y'all know y'all probably watching it and y'all see me sniffing my nose a lot. It is allergy season and the pollen is heavy. And I have severe sinus issues. So
And back to you, Tamara.
I just want to explain to people who see me sniffing my nose on camera. They're probably gonna be like, what's the
Right.
What are we doing today?
Today's episode, we are going to do a little bit of self-love and a little self-reflecting because I think it's a really good time because we are in a
Is
goddamn
there a song
retrograde.
about self-love? I was about to sing.
Me, myself, and I.
That's not that's better than
Get it together. You wanna heal your body.
I don't know what that one is.
India Ari, get it together.
I'm not an NDRE fan.
Oh.
I said it.
Oh,
I said it.
I like
I
it.
heard she's really rude.
I heard that too.
I heard she is really rude in person.
That's why I love Erykah Badu. But anyways,
Oh my.
So yes, today we are reading.
We are
Letters
reading.
to ourselves.
We are reading letters to ourselves. But this is how it's gonna work.
to our younger selves.
Well, we picked
Or-
the age range. We picked the age range that you wanted to write the letter in.
Oh, okay.
So I'm reading Tamara's letter.
I'm reading Little Kamaya's letter.
Yes.
And I'm reading 18-year-old Marley's letter.
And what we're going to do is
Ratchet
after after we
Dear
read
how?
after we read one's letter,
Mhm.
I would like for you to explain why did you choose to write it
Okay.
to yourself at this particular age,
Okay.
and what is the purpose? So who would like to go first?
I do, because I'm that classmate. Remember when we had the reading class and you just read
I
it?
didn't need an explanation. Read your letter.
No. I just want to get it out the way.
I was that classmate.
I was the one that would pre-read before they get called on.
Come on, sis.
All right. To the younger me who did not know any better, I am proud of how far you have come and what you have accomplished this far. But sometimes I can't help but think maybe we could have gotten it together sooner. Maybe we could have focused more and shut more people out to handle things. You know, you spent a lot of years putting yourself on the back burner to help others. Is this my letter? Oh, to help others. And while we have come across a lot of people who have been a great portion and a great addition to your life, we wasted time. We've allowed ourselves to dim our light by bringing it to the wrong people. Modeling was fun, and we love that, but you always knew you wanted more.
Did
I'm
the
glad
letter say ew?
It did. I'm glad, in parentheses, I'm glad you, shut your mouth. I'm glad you didn't give up on school because that was not easy. I tell you this, little bitch, you have to believe in yourself more. There will be people who have to take a different route in your life, and that's okay. You don't have to hold on to them. Start the business your heart resonates with, and then start another. Be mindful to watch your credit. Is this my letter? Read more, do more. We can play and work hard, but you'll find a way to create the revenue that allows you to do it all. Focus on what matters, love yourself more, and at the end of the day, no point in regretting those decisions because everything you have overcome is proof that you got this. Go off, Marley.
Come on.
Go off.
Come on,
Okay.
Mar.
It said,
Now, do you want to explain or do you want to wait till we all read?
We can all read.
Okay. So I'm going to just follow suit.
All right.
I was.
Dear Tamara.
Oh my life.
Tony.
I love that. Dear Tamara, it is amazing to know that now that we're almost 30, you have come such a far way from the somewhat timid and bashful girl you used to be. And in every regard, I am proud of you, proud of us. I say us because without the younger version of myself, I would not have gotten to be who I am today. It's not a solo journey when we've learned some hard lessons and lost some people along the way, but it's all meant to be. Whew. I felt that for you.
What is Virgo?
You should know I'm honored to be the older version of you
I really
because
am.
I get to reflect on all the growth and changes that I've made, whether by force or choice. I am in the acceptance that there is no progress or comfort in being. I am in the acceptance that there is no progress or comfort in being comfortable. Come on, that is a word. The hard choices and real life lessons that we've experienced molding us into the fearless woman that is presented today is mind-blowing. We didn't take a straight path and we lost the silver spoon along the way, but we've accepted that and adapted to every situation ever thrown at us. So with that, I've accepted my flaws. I am working daily on accepting the changes. Thanks for your brilliant mind and sense of humor, stride and strong-spirited nature. We got some more things to do, baby girl. Baby girl. But we got this. I love the most. And to quote Cleo Wade, baby, you are the strongest flower that ever grew. Remember that when the weather changes. Come on, I like that.
Thank you.
I just want to repeat one line. I am in the acceptance that there is no progress or comfort in being comfortable. Lil Wayne said it the best. Don't you ever get too comfortable.
Okay, I'm not saying
That was a powerful
I
letter.
know we was using quotes.
Well, that was to me. You know what I'm saying?
She wrote that to
I wrote
herself.
that to me.
She out here like, let me get this quote.
No, that quote is on my lifeline. That is my daily affirmation.
All right. Dear little Kamaya, right now, you're probably somewhere trying to figure out how to be accepted in school. You're not taking your education seriously and you'd rather fool around. This is really what I should have. I want you to know that you are amazing. You are worth so much more than you think. And if you think that getting older makes things easier, it doesn't. Things get even harder for you.
Let me just.
But you are going to blossom into such an amazing young woman.
A fact.
You will grow a sense of independence and pride that carries you through your 20s.
A fact.
You will find what you think is love, but it'll be a lesson needed for your growth. Those who envied you as a child will have to take back the things they said about you. Don't be afraid of change and do not stray away from taking risks. They will benefit you more than they hurt you. And girlie, just so you know, you are the... This was censored. This is not a censored show. You are the shit.
I had to censor it
The
because I
shit.
can't print cuss words at work.
She the shit.
Oh. Well, she the shit. And no one will be able to take away from you. To take it away from you. Remember to love yourself and honor your feelings. They are important. You are loved and appreciated. Big Daddy K.
Okay. And she also said, okay.
I couldn't say Big Daddy K. But that's who she is.
Ad-lib. These are some powerful letters, ladies.
Yes.
All right.
So-
So what was the next question?
The question I have, and I'm going to start with you, Mar, since we read yours. Writing your letter to yourself, did it evoke any emotions?
Yes.
Do tell.
Not political. Yes.
Do tell. Like when you wrote your letter, like did it bring back memories and feelings? Like how did you really feel writing it?
I really had to dig in because, like I told you guys the previous episode, I'm just trying to come to terms with a lot of things that I probably, younger me, 18-year-old me, probably wouldn't have dealt with. And accepting those things now, when I know I could have accepted them in the past, is like, well, you wasted time on these things. You should be advancing yourself. You should be doing these things. And it's like, but younger you wasn't thinking. So it's like, I'm acknowledging growth. I'm acknowledging all the things that got me here. And that came into my letter. Whew.
Tam.
Well. Ma'am. Cam.
Hey. Like, how's it going? Tell me about your
Don't
letter.
start that.
I will.
Okay, so no, my letter invoked, fuck it. My letter
What did it bring out of you?
It brought out of me remembering, actually giving myself credit for actually it really I'm like stumbling my words right now. it really made me force myself to look back at where I've come from and what all of the growth that I've actually been through. It made me, because I'm a person that's like, if something hits the fan, I want to talk about it right then and there. I want to get it over with, and I just want to move on. And like sometimes I don't allow myself to process because I'm the person that's like, you know what, honestly, it's all good. Don't worry about it. All right, cool, whatever. I'm very adaptive. So it made me sit and kind of be like, yes, you're adaptive, but you deserve to be able to be like, actually, I didn't like how that made me feel. We did go through a lot of stuff as a kid. We did get through some things. You do deserve credit, to give yourself credit. I'm not looking for nobody else to give me credit, but I deserve to sit down and say, hey, I'm proud of you. Like, good job. You know, you got through it. Like, you look back at all the things that, you know, you've been through with family and friends, and you got through it, and this is where you are now, and look at what you've, you know, seeded for yourself, and look what's blooming, look what's blossoming, and that's pretty much what it was.
All right.
What about you?
So, unlike the two of you, I didn't write this letter to 18-year-old Kamaya because I feel like the issue that I had growing up started from young Kamaya, when Kamaya started getting picked on in school.
I think mine was more like addressed to the 16-year-old.
16-year-old?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, my letter, I specifically wanted to write it to the younger me,
Like
the younger you, yes, because,
You belched?
no.
I
did
Tana's
not.
the only person who says belch.
I did
No,
not.
she's not. No, she's not. Just
I
today.
did not belch. I just had to clear my throat. But no, like, younger Kamaya, like, kids are cruel.
Oh, you ain't
Kids
lying.
are cruel.
They are truthful.
And I will say,
Harsh.
growing up, I really wanted to be accepted in school because I didn't feel like I fit in at home because I was that awkward child. I was always getting in trouble. Like, I'm weird. Like, y'all know that. I know. I love it now.
Yeah, that's
But growing up, you know, you just wanted to be cool. You wanted to fit in.
kind of.
And that was my thing. Like, in school, I always wanted to just be, like, cool with everybody, you know? And, like, I got picked on a lot. And then I got into a lot of fights because I also have a temper. And I also have a mouth.
Really?
So it's just like, I really, and this is the thing, I was very smart growing up, but I said growing up, I'm still intelligent now, but I didn't focus on my education as much as I should have growing up. I did not take education seriously until my senior year in college.
What?
Yo,
Let me take it back.
Let
me stop being ignorant. Let me start.
Sis, for the masters or the... She's like, this past graduation, that's when I really was like, all right, let me clean it up.
No, sir. I had to loosen it up, lighten it up. No, I want to say I was in maybe the 10th grade when the guidance counselor sent me back, and she was just like, you missed the whole 3rd and 4th semester in 9th grade. So you are not on track to graduate on time. So you now have to do night school.
Oh.
And yes. I had to bite my tongue because I remember, like, just really not caring because I wanted to just, like, be cool.
Yeah.
And it was just like, now that I look back at it, some of the things that I was doing and some of the people that I was running with and a lot of the trouble I got in, it was foolish. Like, my entire 10th grade year and my summer, I spent going to night school. I went to day school and night school. So in the 11th grade, I did not have to deal with it. Yes, like, I graduated on time.
You should, and that's what I want to say. Like, you should also commend yourself for pushing yourself after realizing that, because you could have just been like, well, I'll fight it.
And that's the thing. It's like,
especially when you don't have like things or people or things around you to be like, yo, listen, you need to clean it up.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And that was another thing when I was like, I said that in my letter. Those people who talked down to me, those people that I envied growing up, like both family members and people I went to school with, were like, oh, you ain't gonna be shit. Or you're not gonna graduate. Or you're not gonna make it to college. You're not gonna do this. And I'm like looking at myself now like, y'all don't understand. I don't know how I got a master's degree. I don't know who gave me a master's degree.
Well, we was there.
I don't
It was the
know.
bald white guy.
You remember his name?
When I
We'll look at the program.
Like, when I look back at
Jacob.
when I look back at like a lot of stuff, and it's just like my letter is like, this letter is to me, but to any young girl, young kid, period, who's in like that stage in their life where they feel like, you over here, you ain't shit, you ain't ever gonna be shit.
Mm-hmm.
Your grandmama ain't shit, your kids ain't gonna be shit. Like,
Mama Neil. Ooh, Neil.
shout out to the Players Club. Like, that's how I felt, and I want them to know, like, you know, you can overcome, you can get through this. Like,
and I think
you're a kid for a reason.
right, but remember in our last episode where we talked about all the things we didn't know and we weren't listening to?
No.
That's what invokes this.
Because I still ain't listening.
But that's the thing, and
that's where this came from, because I feel like we're now reflecting on these things at whatever stage we're at in life.
And this is the funny thing, right? Like, a lot of kids who grow up in the situations that I grew up in, I didn't have guidance. You know what I mean? My family knew we left the house and went to school, and they knew we came home on time. They didn't know what happened in between. It wasn't until they got a call home like, hey, your niece, your granddaughter did not come to school third and fourth semester.
You won't tell them.
You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't until the end of the school year. I didn't have, like, people stopped checking my homework, because there's so much going on. And, like, I come from a big family, so it's easy to get, like,
lost.
Yeah, so it's just like, it's all right, sis. You get through it. And you become great.
I think for me, it was like I said, I just I'm a person now that, like, I'm getting to a point where I'm allowing myself to process things in real time. Because I'm just accustomed to things going on. Like, my household it was a little crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those households where it was like, on the outside, everybody in the family picture is like this. On the inside, it's batshit crazy. You know, it's batshit crazy. And, you know, for me to get up, go to school, for me to, like, you know, just get through those things, have a whole family situation with, like, my parents and my whole family basically being, like, torn apart in, like, my 10th grade year. And for me to kind of have to process that through, like, 11th and 12th grade, and then just kind of go forward with, you know, missing a whole parent, you know, it's just kind of like, my dad's not dead. He's just, I don't know where he at.
Missing.
You know, but like, it's just, and for me and my dad to be like this, and now my whole household is like literally split. You know, like, I'm not with my brother. It's me and my mom over here. My brother's over there. It's just got really, like, you know, it was like my whole world turned upside down, and I had to literally go to school the next day. Like, not even like I get a week, you know, it's not like my mom could call the guidance counselor and be like, hey, listen, a whole ordeal went down. She's going to be no, it was, all right, girl, I know that happened last night, but tomorrow you got to go to school.
You want to know what's so weird?
And, like,
it's just like, and I think that's another thing, because my grandmother was a strong influence in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember she passed on that Monday. And, like, when my grandmother, like, it was like soul food when Big Mama died. Like, my grandmother raised us. She raised all her grandkids practically. Mm-hmm. So when she passed, it was just like your heart being ripped from you. Mm-hmm. And like you just said, there was no stay home today if you need to stay home.
No.
It was go to school. And I legit had to, there was no grieving. There was no mourning. Like, I went to school every day after that. And I feel like
processed that in real time, like, and sat with my peers, like, having, you know, and me, like, literally sitting in class, like, just replaying, like, what the fuck happened? The you know what I'm saying? Like, what led up to this? Like, replaying things that, like, only my best of best friends, you know, really knew, like, because it was just, like, it was so, wow, you got to tell somebody.
And I bet you probably masked it so no one else would ask you, what's wrong?
At all, you know what I mean? Like, but shout out to Pops, Aunt Debs, and Mills, because those are really, like, my brothers. Those are really the men that basically came in and was like, yo, honestly, like, you are now my sister. You are now my family. You are now my blood, and that's how we're going to treat you. Those are the men who, like, literally took, I'm on what's up. Woo. No. Those are the men who no,
we are not
never.
crying.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
are not
But you know what I'm saying?
crying.
Like those are the individuals. So like when it came down to like stuff like that, it's like those are the things that I now that I have a child myself, now that I have things going on in, you know, my own personal life, just moments where I just sit back and I'm like, damn, you know, that was really traumatizing. Like, god damn,
Man.
that was some traumatic shit. But hey, guess what? Like you got through, but it also shaped me. And the same things that it shaped my good habits, it also shaped some of my bad habits, because now I'm from that age of 16 tomorrow on was like, oh, well, you know what I realized? Men are beautiful. I never thought they were any less. I just thought, well, they weren't for me. Not that I turned into like a lesbian or anything. Not that there's anything not that there's anything wrong with that either. But like it was just like I just turned into a dog. You know what I'm saying? Like I just turned into
You was having a city girl summer before the city girls was
before they
invented.
even knew. And I'm
Was you
older
having a
than
Project
them.
Pata summer?
It could have been.
It
It was very much like,
Listen,
oh
y'all
my
know I
god.
was
But
raised
it
in my
was
younger days.
no, but you know what I'm saying, like that. And I didn't really reflect on those things until I got literally like 25, 26. That I was like, you know something, like I was really on some man eater shit. Like I was just like, well, y'all look good for this and that's what's up, but I don't want to date you. And it just molded, you know, like it molded my view on marriage. It molded my view on like just certain things that I didn't even think about until now that I have a child. I'm like, damn, you know what? Like I step back and I'm like, ooh.
And then you reflect on growing up.
Yeah,
and it's
so-
like, ooh.
And that's the thing. I feel like
Ooh.
a lot of people say, "Oh,
Whose topic ideas? I ain't
a
heard you
lot
talk
of
man
people."
either.
I was gonna say because
so
we keep talking,
we
but
gonna
a lot
turn
of
it over
people,
to you.
a lot of people say like, you know, like, "Oh, you know, you're an adult now, so you can't always blame it on your childhood." But if we really take a look at it, a lot of the shit that stems in our adult life was rooted from when we were children.
And now we're trying to learn
Because-
to undo those
them.
things,
Those
undo
bad
these
habits.
cycles, those habits, those family, these are generational curses. Whether you want to
Because
acknowledge
did
it as
anyone
that or
teach you
not.
about grief?
No,
Oh.
Like, I kid you not,
I saw it and I was like, oh,
my father
I
died.
want to cry.
My father died in the seventh grade, right?
Mhm.
My grandmother died in the 8th. There was no grieving process. No one taught you how to sit down and talk out your emotions and write.
But that's
It was
the,
nothing.
the thing with that also is we don't normally speak about these things. We're not speaking on emotions. We're not speaking on how to get through them.
Exactly.
We're just
And
getting through them,
generationally,
and that-
our parents probably
exactly.
And
weren't
that's
sat down, and that's what they know. So it's
Honest-
it's not like blaming. It's just
It's just
really
realizing.
reflecting.
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
realizing.
Like, God damn,
I don't
like-
even blame the parents because they had me seeing guidance counselors for anger management, and all they did was point out a piece of, what emotion are you today?
Oh yeah, I
Well,
already been through that.
so
That's,
your mother-
that's
growing
cute.
up-
And you got the little certificate that says you have. I'm.
They had me in that shit for 4 years.
Did nothing for
Put a
me.
rubber band in pop to deal with your anger.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's bad for your arteries, but go on.
It's bad for you, period, sis. It's bad for you, period.
But
But honestly, for me, it's a lot of knowing where I want to be in life. Like, I didn't grow up with both parents. My father didn't come into my life, like, he was there, but my father was back in Haiti.
yeah.
So I didn't have a male figure for a while. My older brother was just there. And then it was just me and my little brother.
You did a heavy eye roll when you said that. He was
Right
just
there.
Yeah,
So
no,
he-
to
he-
be
It was
honest,
like
he
there.
was
He
there.
stole your lunch money? He took your
I
lunch
don't
money?
think he gave it to me.
I'm like, he ate your snacks.
Because I'm just waiting your eye roll it.
But me and my older brother, but the thing is, me and my older brother are 12 years apart. So there was
Okay.
no, you know,
and
it
me and my
wasn't
brother
like
are
that.
7
We
years
weren't
apart,
close.
so it's like, but I was his shadow.
But me and
So-
Carrie are close. We're close enough to be like, yo,
Shout out to Carrie.
we're gonna shout you out every episode.
Yep.
Pay some bills.
Don't pay no bills.
Save your money, son. Save your money.
No, but see, that's the thing also. So my little brother and I, we have a lot of conversations where we're like reflecting on our childhood.
Mhm.
And there are things that I'm bringing to him because we're 6 years apart. There are things that I've watched growing up that he doesn't even remember. And I'm just like, you don't remember that? Okay, fine. And it's
That
like,
one just got heavy. Because
Mhm.
me and I have 3 sisters that are, I said I have 3 sisters. I have 4 sisters.
why you gonna roll your eyes?
I have
What
4
they do?
sisters, and the 3 youngest is me and my 2 other sisters. We legit sit down and reminisce on so much. And when we really sit back and we think, we be like, yo, we grew up in some shit.
Yes. Yes, and all these conversations that I've been having, like I've made it.
And
So
we
on
think
my
it's normal.
27th, I don't. I never thought it was normal because
You couldn't
I was
tell me.
already told. I was already told. Like, I went through something back in middle school. Obviously, when a child goes through something and an adult notices it, what do? Either call social services or have you taken some sort of something. They made me go sit down with a freaking therapist. I was like, my mama said not to talk to you. So,
Like a true black child.
so
My mom said I can't come to the door. My mom said I can't answer the phone.
But
But
no,
you
My
know,
mom
we
said she
weren't
not
told-
here.
We weren't told. This lady was asking me about my feelings, how I felt about things, and I'm just like, I don't know. She was like, well, you're very passive aggressive. Okay. I stopped going. My
Yeah.
mom said I didn't have to go. I'm not going.
You see, but
Mhm.
that's
So
how
those
my
things-
therapist was. Those are how my therapists were too. But then I also feel like, never mind. That's a different topic for a different time because you can't mess with someone's license. But I do feel like certain therapists back in the day who deal with children can try harder. Because I
They
remember
can.
one time they told my grandmother to put me on medication.
But you have to also take into account that is their job. Like, there are people who are licensed to prescribe you in
I
therapy.
was dealing with grief. You don't do. And
But
that's
maybe
why
they-
I mean.
like, maybe
And that's
they
why
didn't
I
know.
said there was a disservice, and I feel like there was a lot of disservice to a lot of kids in our age range growing up because they didn't have this information. Like, you know what I mean? No one
Yeah.
really talks
Honest-
about stuff like that, like
Now-
grieving and how to deal with your emotions
I'm glad
and
you said
mental
that
health.
because in Oregon, they have started to implement mental health days for kids. I hope they give it to
Can
adults
we?
as well.
I was gonna say Massachusetts.
But
I don't think
think-
I need a mental health day. I need a menstrual health day because let me tell you something about my cramps.
Can I get up now?
No. Let me tell you something about my cramps.
'Cause
Okay?
what?
I am tired of her and her cramps. I am tired of her.
We done heard about
and
her cramps.
menstrual health.
Well,
I am tired of you.
For
I
the
am
women who have
tired of
fibrosis,
you.
immediate endometrius, and any of those things of the sort, you deserve a day. Just like the rest of us. These bitches don't want to talk about it, but I will. You deserve it.
No, because
You deserve several days. You deserve to work from home. If you don't feel up to it, that's a mental health day. Let me tell you why. Because if my cramps is not, if
honestly,
they're
I
cramping,
love that.
I might snap on you. I really might snap on
I
you.
love being
Did
home
you write
on
that
my-
in your letter?
on
Let
my
me get to your
menstrual.
letter. Will you do?
No, that's
Oh,
tomorrow.
Megan.
That's tomorrow's letter. That's tomorrow's note to self. I write daily notes to myself, so that's tomorrow's note.
But
But
no, I
Back to you,
am.
Marley.
I am happy that they're doing that because I sat in the car with my mother discussing college and staying at. So a lot of you know now that I left my job due to the overwhelmingness of the environment. My mom is one of those people like, why don't you stick it out? And I noticed a lot of her generation and before
They're
are
very
always
much
that, why don't you stick it out?
A
And
lot
I'm
of
not
our
that.
generation now is still sticking out. I
Yes.
feel like a lot of people.
Shit,
But
I'm
I have
not
to
sticking it
say,
out right now.
I'm like, and
Oh, no.
my mom, I don't know, she's a Leo. She has her opinions and that's that. But it's just like, this is a new time. This is a new era. Like, I love Leo.
I feel like
but
I
you
do
know they're
too.
headstrong.
And the thing is,
like,
with a lot
them,
of people is they're afraid. Like, listen, I was listening to another podcast, and the girl
you
said
just,
she was. Listen, I was listening to another podcast, and
So we ain't the only.
she basically said, long story short, she quit her job to focus on her accounting job, to
That's
focus on her creative work, and all she thinks about is going broke. And I feel like that's why a lot of people stick it out, and I
But
feel like that's
that's-
why our parents kept us
Right.
around and
but
told
even
us.
when it comes to college, my mom is like advocating that my little brother finishes school. My little brother may or may not want to finish school. So I told her he needs that time. He needs that time
I
off to
advocate for people
understand
to take a
that
break.
maybe this is not what I want to do because
Yeah.
I'm $50,000 in student
She
loans
said 50.
debt.
She
and-
said 50.
Well, I'm
Exactly,
done 'cause
and the
I ain't
thing
finished,
is-
so I really don't,
Oh,
but I
and the thing is-
empathize.
And the thing is, there are a lot
I
of
left.
people,
I'm staring at a
Bye.
six-figure debt.
but
Six
But a lot of
figures.
people who do finish school go into debt and don't work on their career. Why would you push for someone who knows that this is not what they want to do? If
Yeah.
the classroom is not their structure, why would you push them to that?
And I
Why would
advocate.
you drive them to freaking mad?
And this is why I'm like, and I advocate that, and that's another thing I wish, like, I should have wrote that in my letter to my younger self. Because
new letter.
Added.
this there's so much stuff that I wanted to do. Like, I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to be a psychiatrist. I also love finance. I also love the mental health field. And I stayed in school.
And you can.
I stayed in undergrad.
Is in November.
I stayed in undergrad for 6 years. For 6 years, changing majors.
I love.
And it's like, if someone told me,
And
like,
that's the
hey,
thing. I
take a
think-
year off and figure out what you want to do.
I stayed in I'm one of those people, like, if I started, I'm going to finish that shit. I don't care what it takes. That's
Ooh.
why in my letter I said, I know
Admirable.
it was hard. I know that shit was hard.
Admirable. I'm one of those people that's like, this is no longer what I want to do. It no longer serves me. I'm leaving.
And that's
And here's
Ooh.
the thing.
But
I didn't want to invest in
that's
more
a
time.
that's a double-edged sword though, because now I'm really like I said, I'm about to be 30 in September, and I'm really just now getting to a point where I'm like, actually, this is really what I want to do. But I don't feel bad about it, and I have no regrets about my choices, because I'm like, yo, if I didn't, first of all, my path is already laid out. It was
Right.
already written that I was going to do all this crazy madness and zigzag around and start at marine biology and at botany. So it just kind of goes that way. But I think when you're in the thick of it, it's like, damn, I really wish I knew what I knew then. It's like,
And that's why I'm
I don't
advocating
dwell.
for
Like,
my
it
little
is what
brother.
it is. Yeah.
And you
Because
know,
my mother pushed me to have that mindset.
Yeah.
It's like, you better finish that. You're not wasting my money. Like, okay, so let me just continue, because I went back into school. Like, I went when I was signing up for classes, I think my junior year. I was like, can I switch my major to business? And they were like, yeah, that's gonna be an additional 2 years. And I was like, oh, let me just finish this. And now I'm going back to school for business.
and,
Like,
and this is another thing I do want people to know too.
I may go back. I probably won't.
and that's okay.
I also
Travel.
want people to know everything, like the letter to our younger selves is beautiful, but also everything that we've gone through was an experience. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't think I would change or
Nope.
trade it for anything.
Nope.
Not at this
Because
point.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Miss
No,
Daisy, my grandmother, she in her time here,
Miss Daisy?
that's her nickname, Miss Daisy. All the tattoos are daisies for her. Like, she raised I mean, granted, when she died, like I said, I was in 8th grade. But what she taught me from birth until 8th grade shaped me to be who I am. My work ethic is from her.
Mm-hmm.
The way I clean my house, because listen,
You heard that?
it's because of her. Like, you know what I mean? Just my strength and my guidance and my wisdom is because of her, and I wouldn't change that for anything. And I feel like God knew what he was doing when he took her from me at that age, because I had to grow.
Yeah, of course.
I had to grow.
Same for me, because my dad would have been, honestly, I imagine that if my dad was still in the picture, I probably wouldn't even be doing this. I probably would not care
What you
nothing
mean?
about.
I probably would have been a nurse or something if my grandmother was still alive.
No, and not for nothing,
I
I
would've been.
probably would have been like some super over the top preppy, stushy. Like, I really I was such a
I
daddy's
would have
girl.
been so sweet.
I don't think
You
no. Well, I just think that it just would have been a total different, like, it just would have been a totally different me. I think I would have been super rigid. Like, I don't think I would have, experienced what I experienced. Like, I don't. I think I'll
And I'm
be
okay with that.
stuffy.
Right.
Because I
You know
like
what
who
I'm
I
saying?
got.
Yeah, for real. And I
Like
love who
who
I
I
turned
got.
out to be. I think it's great. Like, no offense, Daddy, but I'm just saying that I think the sheltering probably would have created a whole different version of yourself, like a whole different version of myself.
So I was the sheltered one, but I was always rebelling, or I was always trying to rebel. Now that I can rebel,
But that's the funny thing is, we were sheltered. We were sheltered growing up, but it was just like, we were sheltered, but then still had freedom within our siblings and cousins. So it's just like, when I look at some of the things
I
that
was sheltered and scolded.
look at this story.
look at.
When I look at some of the things that like people my age were doing at 18 and 19, I was just like,
if you look at the things they're
I
doing
could
now,
wait. I could wait. And it's just like, I'm like,
You know what?
do you have closing remarks, Marley? Because
come on, he's done with us. And we have to do a countdown. How many times you're done with us? 'Cause, gee,
this one,
At least I didn't
hotty
walk off. Sure.
toddy.
Who's sorry?
But yes.
Lottie Dottie.
We like somebody.
I didn't ask you to do that.
Whatever. Kill my joys. But
I do that on a daily.
She said it like it's on her resume. She's like,
like
they're like, and here I see you, masters and what's that?
Kills Marley Joy.
Oh,
Kills
that what it
Marley's Joy.
is that a high paying position?
well,
or-
a seal.
It's a voluntary service
Oh.
that I provide.
Amazing. So
3
like
days
an
a week.
internship.
I volunteer to help her.
Yo.
To help her.
Yeah, I did see. I was sad. It killed me.
It
killed me.
It kills me.
No.
To know how much I really love it.
No, I didn't say all of that.
I don't know.
It kills you to know how much you really love me.
So
This
with that
joy
being
that I
said,
take from
closing
you.
remarks.
Have a good night, guys.
And
This has
closing
been-
remarks is to take the time to write yourself a letter.
Right.
Take the
Reflect.
time to reflect.
Especially in
And
this retrograde.
Ooh, I have a task for you ladies.
Hurry up and close. Hurry up and close.
Right.
Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful night. Thank you for telling me.
Write a letter to your 50-year-old self. It could,
Ooh, 50-year-old
could
me.
come-
Is you still popping that?
If I'ma look like my mother, I am writing this letter.
Listen, if I'm gonna look like my mother,
listen,
I'm probably on the dance floor talking about
listen.
you make me happy.
You can't even do it yet.
Right.
You see me with this one
Write a
move,
letter to
right?
your 50-year-old self, and we'll visit that. a few
50-year-old me is
episodes.
gonna learn.
We'll visit
how to
that
do
a
the
few
electric slide.
episodes from now.
I won't.
I'm just working.
On that
Right,
note,
50-year-old me's working.
they chugging wine, and I'm over here.
Well, you can't tell a worker that fast, man. We need you here.
Here.
Have a good night, guys.
Thank you so much.